the juice box. Come on.
Oh, look at that. Those are deviled eggs, and this is vinaigrette. We're here with Steve Monteith, the owner of Lusty Monk Mustard, and Dave DeWitt, the guy who created the Fiery Foods show that's going to be this weekend. And you guys brought some stuff here that just looks amazing. These are deviled eggs. You make mustard.
I make mustard,
and you made these deviled eggs with this mustard.
Correct.
This sounds great. Tell us about Lusty Monk Mustard, and how did you become a mustard maker?
Well, I'm actually an engineer.
Okay.
And I was working in the field, and I was kind of tired of it. My sister-in-law lives in Asheville, North Carolina, and she's the creative force behind Lusty Monk. And the name comes from history. You know, in medieval Europe, hot foods were thought to be an aphrodisiac, so some of the stricter monasteries weren't allowed to mess with hot foods. Mustard being hot was one of those. So that's where the name Lusty Monk came about.
Awesome.
If you're messing with hot foods, because some of the monasteries produce mustard and sold it in the community, you got to be lusty, right?
That's awesome.
It's a lust for life, not
Right.
necessarily
A lust
sex.
for life,
Right.
yes.
I
Lust
love it.
covers flavor, food,
I
everything.
love it.
Right.
I love it. So is your mustard super hot? Is it spicy? Because you are at the Fiery Foods show, I mean.
Yes, yes. We're not super hot like chili hot. We're more of a nasally hot kind of a, people think we put horseradish in our mustard.
Wasabi.
Wasabi, yeah.
The same
Excellent.
chemicals in both and in black pepper. It's isothiocyanate.
And is that like a capsaicin? Or
It's not unrelated to capsaicin.
But it's still that hot.
Right.
You feel it in your nasal passages heat.
Horseradish, wasabi, black pepper, and mustard.
Excellent.
Right.
So how long have you guys been making mustard?
Since 2009.
Very cool. And is it hard? I know. Do you do like the stone ground and the whole 9 yards?
We
or is
cheat
that-
a little bit. We use a milling machine to grind the mustard seed, and we still blend by hand, though. You know, if you get big enough, you're going to have ribbon mixers and that kind of thing, but it is still a handcrafted product.
So how did you end up at Dave's show?
Well, we have the big food show, and he has a
Right.
spicy product, so it was
Excellent.
natural.
Excellent.
He entered our contest. We also have the Scovie Awards that we do every year.
Right.
And
He's won that.
he won it twice, the grand prize, 2 years in a row, after losing for 5 years and not winning anything. So
It takes 5
I think
years to
what
become an
happened
overnight
was-
It's 5
success.
years, you got to practice, I guess.
Well, it just caught on because people didn't know about refrigerated mustards for the most part.
Yeah.
You know, they're thinking about the yellow mustards that
Yeah.
are not refrigerated, and they don't have any power at all because isothiocyanate is not stable like capsaicin. Capsaicin in chili peppers, you can freeze it, you can boil it, you can do anything, and it's still there.
Right.
But isothiocyanate just gone.
Okay.
Unless you keep it refrigerated.
So you have to. This is stuff that you buy. You have
Right.
to. You can't just like leave
This
it
will
on
be in the
counter
refrigerated
forever.
deli case, you know, in the co-op and various other markets like that.
Right.
Very cool.
Our
and then
motto is keep it cold to keep it hot.
Right.
So, yeah.
And then you also have a cool vinaigrette here, and this came out of Dave's book.
That's correct.
Yes.
I love that.
It's a new book out called Dishing Up New Mexico. It's been very popular, and we gave all of the state legislators a copy of it.
Oh, lovely.
That's good.
And does that mean you're hoping they'll be at the show this weekend too?
Yeah. It'll be at the show, believe me. Take a taste.
I would love to. This looks wonderful because I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is this going to be like scorching hot and burn my
No.
taste buds off?
You'll be
Because I know
okay.
you have your heat sensors are like deadened compared to mine.
You know, it's all genetic. Has nothing to do with your age or your gender or your, you know, ethnic origin or anything like that. The reaction to hot and spicy is genetic, inherited.
And that's sweet. I wasn't expecting it to be sweet. What's in that? There's some cilantro. I can taste some tomato. And what else is in
Some
there?
lime, chipotle, honey mustard. That's
Honey
where
mustard.
the sweetness
Oh, of course.
Right.
Very cool. And is this is just one of the recipes you guys like to have on hand for the
Oh,
mustard?
absolutely. There's
Yeah.
some great recipes in
Makes
that
for
book.
good tasting at the show. It's easy to taste.
Right. And of course, Steve isn't going to be the only guy at the show. How many vendors do you have this year?
About 200.
200.
Right.
And this is, when we talk fiery foods, this stuff is hot.
Well, a lot of it is. I mean, but we go from mild to wild in the show.
Yeah.
And a couple of new things that I wanted to tell your audience about is that Sandia has built a new 1,700 car parking garage for the not just for the show, of course, but for their casino and
the grand opening just yesterday, I think.
They're officially opening on Friday when the show opens.
Yeah.
So it won't be as jammed as it usually is with cars, and hard to find a parking place on Saturday. We have
Excellent.
1,700 more, and also we've moved the cooking demonstrations indoors. No more tents, nothing like that. So there's a big room, a 2,000 square foot room for the cooking demonstrations.
All at San Diego Casino this year.
Yes.
That's a big room. How many people are you expecting?
We're expecting 20,000 for the weekend.
20,000. That's huge.
Yeah, that's not an exaggeration. They count it by clickers.
Right.
This is a casino. They pay attention to details
Right.
like that.
They watch who walks in the door.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Excellent security, too.
What are you looking forward to? What's your favorite food every year at the Fiery Food Show? Because you've written books, you've done TV shows. You are the pepper guy in the state.
I still like to see what people are doing with the super hot chilies because they're almost inedible.
Right.
So when people make a sauce out of a super hot chili, you wonder how much of the chili is actually in there and what the rest is just filler.
Right.
I mean, when I say filler, I don't mean bad filler. I mean like mangoes or carrots or
Tomatoes,
papaya, some
whatever.
base that you put the stuff in, because the only way you can eat these super hot chilies is to dilute them.
Right.
Otherwise, they will hurt you severely.
I have been around some of the hot chilies, even when they cook them at your show, when they're just like, they have the skillets and they're just cooking them up, your eyes just start to water. It's just, you can't even walk by some of the booths at the Fiery Food Show. It's amazing.
We've proven that the super hot chilies will grow in New Mexico. We grew 1.8 tons of super hot chilies in New Mexico from Albuquerque all the way down to Las Cruces. So they will grow here.
Yeah. How does the scale work? And I know that there is a scale for measuring the hotness, right?
Right. It's called the Scoville Heat Scale.
And my regular old mom's green chili is like what, a 2?
Well, it's about 800 to 1,000 Scoville heat units. Jalapenos anywhere from 2,500 to about 5,000.
And then you guys have chilies that are what, like 1 million?
Yeah. A million and 1.5 million. The hottest one is 1.5 million Scoville heat units.
So that's, I can't even think of the orders of magnitude hotter than
once
my
it gets
mom's green
past
chili.
about 200,000 or 300,000, you can't tell,
Right.
Because you're so burned out. But they do have value because there's one variety of super hot called 7-pot, and it comes from Trinidad, and it meant that one pod could heat up 7 pots of stew.
Wow, wow. In your case, do you pay attention to the heat? Is that a thing that you guys really watch, or are you just more going for flavor and blend?
We're looking more for flavor and blend. I do like hot foods, but when you're talking about a 1.5 million Scoville unit, I mean, that sounds lethal.
I'm going to have a little bit more of this while we're talking. This is really good. I also haven't eaten breakfast.
We brought you eggs for breakfast.
Really. And those were made with your mustard?
Our original Sen mustard, which is a straight-up coarse ground mustard. It's yellow brown mustard seed, vinegar, water, and salt. There's nothing else in it. So it's very...
You make it sound like anybody can do this.
If you have a mill.
If you have a mill, and there's some tricks to the trade, as with anything.
I'm sure. So the show this year, how do you find all the people with the hottest stuff? Do
they find us.
They find you.
Yeah, we're the biggest show of its kind in the world, so people find us, and we're totally sold out every year, so there's a waiting list and that sort of thing.
How did you get involved in peppers anyway? I think I've known you for a while as the guy who is the pepper guy.
I was down in Las Cruces many years ago, nearly 30 years ago, at the New Mexico Chili Conference, and I saw a tabletop display of old El Paso foods, and I'm driving back, and I'm thinking, this is a big industry. It's more than $1 billion industry, and there's no trade show? How is that possible?
Right.
Aluminum Siding must have 3 trade shows.
Right.
And so I told my wife we were going to do it. She was teaching at Manzano High School at the time. I had been producing shows
and she
since
said,
I came
Dave,
to New
you're
Mexico.
nuts.
Well, yeah, she did. And everybody thought we were nuts. But we pulled it off, and we made $100 on our first show. So I knew from then that we had to make more than that.
Awesome.
So we kept going.
I want to try one of these here before.
Sure.
Let's see here. Help me out here, guys. Let's see.
It's just a deviled egg.
It's just a deviled egg, and
Lettuce just kind of
so
lettuce. Yeah.
This looks delicious.
If you think it's weird to make a deviled egg with a monk mustard, it is.
Tastes that nasal kind of...
Absolutely.
It's not overwhelming. It just gives it some character and backbone.
This is wonderful. I love this. Yeah. And we can get these at the show. You're going to be having samples?
We won't be sampling deviled eggs or anything. Typically what we do is use a ramekin or portion cup with our mustard and pretzels, something easy, because we'll go through 10,000, 15,000 sample cups. Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Well, we feed people.
Right. That is one of the things about the show. Is
Yeah.
everybody you walk by, there's chips, there's salsa, there's pico, there's everything. And then what is the best way? I'm the guy that my mouth gets hot and I'm done for the day. What's the best way to quell that heat for those of us the first timers who are going to the show?
Well, we have ice cream. 94 Rock will be giving away ice cream to cool you down.
Excellent.
Any kind of thick dairy product is the best because there's a protein called casein, which strips the capsaicin molecules off your tongue.
That's
Give
the
you a
heavy
little bit of chemistry.
cream,
Heavy
that kind of
cream,
stuff.
sour cream, yogurt, ice cream, that kind of stuff.
Anything.
It really works.
So, all right, I will be at the show, and I will bring, like, a giant thing of heavy cream with me, and I will try to eat everything I can eat and see how I do.
We open 4 p.m. on Friday.
Excellent. At the new San Diego Casino,
Right.
where they have the brand new parking garage and everything. We'll be back in a second with a bunch of friends from the Albuquerque Museum to talk art and the new shows at the Albuquerque Museum in just a second.